And we're learning more about this man, a convicted murderer now accused of killing a Metro East woman nearly 8 years after his release from prison. Investigators say this was all part of a murder for hire plot. Gary Johnson is accused of pulling the trigger and killing Portia Rowland. Only on 4 tonight, we hear from the mother of the victim. Johnson is accused of killing decades ago. Also, why Illinois' law allowed him to get out of prison early.
He was a kid that everybody knew, everybody loved.
Carlotta Best says she constantly thinks about the life her son, Darion Woods, would be living today.
He was planning on going to ministry because he wanted to be a pastor.
But Darion was murdered in 1997 at just 19 years old. That year, Gary Johnson was charged with first-degree murder in Woods' death. He was sentenced in 2000 to 40 years in prison for Woods' murder, but he was released in 2017. Criminal defense attorney Jessica Kester says Johnson wouldn't have been released early if the crime happened today.
In 1998, Illinois passed a truth in sentencing law that says if you're convicted of first-degree murder, you have to serve 100% of your sentence.
Getting charged in 1997, she says, made a difference.
If you were convicted of a crime, the law was you typically served half of your sentence. He was charged at a time before truth in sentencing came into play. So while I believe he was convicted after that time, he got a choice of how he was sentenced. And of course, he's going to choose to be sentenced under the more favorable guidelines.
Fast forward to January 2025. The Madison County State's Attorney's Office accused Johnson of pulling the trigger in a murder-for-hire plot that ended with 32-year-old Portia Rowland dead.
To see somebody, after spending 20 years in prison, come back out and then allegedly commit such a serious offense again, that is rare.
Johnson is charged with first-degree murder and 1 count of being in possession of a firearm for Portia Rowland's death. Carlotta says she is furious knowing Johnson got out after what happened to her son.
Justice wasn't really served like it should have been, and that he should have stayed locked up.
Gary Johnson's preliminary hearing is scheduled for Friday. In Collinsville, Kimberly Donahue, First Alert 4.